Hey everybody, welcome to FabFit Friday. Happy Good Friday and happy Easter to everyone who's celebrating that. We have a separation between Easter and Passover this year, so my girls won't have to split their time on Easter. They can have Easter and then next month they can have Passover. I feel like that's a happy schedule for our family. Hi Jane, welcome. All right, so my life is like off the rails right now, just off the rails. So my daughter had surgery on Tuesday to fix her ACL, and that put her leg in a very long brace. So now I'm chauffeur 3 times a week for PT and other things. So I have to apologize to everyone. I didn't have a chance to finish cleaning my studio because I'm literally going to be busy doing something almost every day family related now for the next 4 weeks. So you're going to have to bear with me in terms of finishing the cleaning of the studio because clearly that's not happening yet. I didn't have time to clean anything this week. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Tana. Oh, Tana's excited. You're here at the beginning. Yay, Tana! Hey, Connie. Welcome. All right, so you can see in the background behind me, I brought in my new fitting friend, and I really was trying to keep that downstairs until I finished organizing my studio so I would know where I was going to put that. But I wanted to bring it upstairs because I want to show you a real life full-size example of what I talked about during Fit Tip Tuesday this week. And I have my little drawings that I shared for Fit Tip Tuesday. I'm going to switch my view. Oh, Andrea says no apology. Life happens. I know. Hey, Sandra, welcome. I know. I think I'm feeling the pains of being a single woman small business because I do everything myself. And then if I'm required or if something happens where I need to like help my family more than usual, I get backed up. That's just what happens. I also have a cold, which my husband brought back with him from his trip to San Antonio on a week-long shoot. So I'm hoping I feel better in time to go to Easter dinner. We'll see. If not, I'm going to stay home. So we'll see what happens. All right. So what I want to do today is let's get right into it because I'm really excited about this and I want to introduce you to my new friend. But before I do that, let me switch my table shot here. And let me make it so it's, ooh, not so bright. That's like way too bright. Hold on. Hey, Joy, welcome. All right, I'm just fixing my, I know it looks like snow on my table right now. I'm fixing it. Hold on. Oh, let's make sure that's nice and sharp. And I'm also going to bring it out a little because I want to show you these. So if you joined me for Fit Tip Tuesday this week, you already saw these illustrations, but I want to talk about these before I show you what I have on my dress form. Hey, Mary, welcome. Oh, you're up north in the up of Michigan today. Whew. I hope you're enjoying that. Okay, so this is what I shared during Fit Tip Tuesday, and I just want to explain to everybody what these are. Notice this is the center grain line or the center balance line on the pattern of the back leg of a pair of pants. And notice this one is touching the original center back edge. This one has some space between the original. So the original center back edge on this one was here, right? So you can see that there is some space between the top of the grain line and the center back edge. Here, the original grain line was here, and you can see there's no space between the Grainline or center balance line and the center back edge. And what I was trying to explain during Fit Tip Tuesday is, depending on your shape, this might or might not be okay, and you really might need this versus this. And my premise is, if you have a very straight or average shape where you're proportionately curvy, so you don't have a prominent behind, you don't have really curvy hips on your side seams, then you need some space between the center back edge and the center of the pattern at the waistline. If you're very, very curvy, if you have a prominent hip curve on your side seam, or if you have a prominent behind, then the grain line can be closer to the center back edge. So I tried to show that on paper during FabFit Friday this past Tuesday. I'm sorry, Fit Tip Tuesday this past Tuesday. But I forgot to talk about a couple things. So I want to talk about one thing that I forgot to mention. And then I'm going to show you a fabric example of this on my new dress form I'm going to show you in a minute. So the first thing is, some patterns might not have a center back seam. So for example, I am going to actually, and I'm going to apologize for this right now. I feel like I should have, excuse me. I am going to print out, I'm sorry, open sesame. I'm going to print out another back leg here because I want to show, this. Where did I put it though? That's the thing. Sorry, hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. My entire cold is in my head, so I feel like I'm, I don't want to say, I feel like I'm working on a half brain today. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Hold on one second. I want to see if I can find, all right, I don't know. All right, so I'm not going to print anything. Hold on one second. Hold on, I'm just trying to find a back leg. Hold on. Excuse me. A back leg in here somewhere. Oh my gosh. All right. Of course. All right. I cannot find one, so here's what we're going to do. All right, I'm sorry. Let me, all right, hold on a second. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, which I should have had this prep before I came on. I'm very, very sorry. Good afternoon, Cindy. Welcome. Hey, Julie. Oh, happy Easter, Resurrection Sunday, and Good Friday. Yes, happy all those things to people who celebrate those things. Okay, I'm just going to make a quick down and dirty copy of this pattern. So I just want to show you something here. Okay, so here is a back leg. And we're going to make it a short back leg like this. Okay? All right, so what I want to show you here is one thing I forgot to explain during Fit Tip Tuesday is, if you have a pattern, let's pretend this is your pattern that you're working with, and the grain line is like this. Here's your grain line. Okay. Some patterns, when you get them and you open them up, have short little grain lines like this. If your pattern has a short little grain line like this is how the designer wants you to position the back leg on the fabric. Okay. Now, in some cases, this grain line might be askew. It might not be parallel with the grain of, the straight center of this pattern. So this is not the grain line I'm talking about when I talk about a center grain line. So when I'm showing you this line right here, this line right here that I'm talking about is really more of a center balance line, meaning it's the center of the pattern. And one of the things I forgot to share with you last on Fit Tip Tuesday was, how do you establish that if your pattern doesn't have one? So I'm just going to pop a cough drop in my mouth. There we go. All right. So if your pattern doesn't have a center grain line or a center balance line on it, I want to show you how to establish it. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure the width of your hem. So let's say this measures, whatever it measures. You're going to find the center of that right there at the hem. Then you're going to measure up to the knee line. And here's my knee line, let's say. Okay, so this is knee. Now, if you don't have a knee line or knee notches on your pattern, just find the approximate position of it for this. Usually it's about 12, 13 inches from the crotch, or, depending on how long the pant style is, maybe 20 inches, 15, 20 inches from the hem, somewhere where your knee would be. You want to find the center of that as well. So what I'm doing here is that's 4.5, so 2.5 would be the center. Okay, so now I know the center of my hem and I know the center of my knee. What you do is you connect those and you go all the way to the top to create your center balance line. So this is different from a grain line that might be printed on the pattern that's very short. And especially if it's off to the side, you can't use that to see what the balance of your pattern is, what we're talking about today. All right, so that's how you establish the center grain line or the center balance line. Now notice how far away it is from the center back edge here, right? Now obviously if I close these darts, you can see it's going to get a little bit closer once the dart is closed, but it still has some space between the center back edge and the top of the center grain line at the waist. This line is telling us where the middle of the pattern is, up at the top of your waist down to your hem. Now, why is that important? It's important because it can help you see if you're having fitting issues. It can help diagnose that. So now what I'm going to do, if anybody has any questions about that, just let me know and I will answer you. I'm going to go back to my face camera here. All right, so this is my new friend. Now she's been downstairs waiting for my studio to be finished. But that's clearly not going to happen in time for me to share. So I'm going to turn this around and I want to show you what's happening on this back leg. Now, for this video, or for today during FabFit Friday, I just sewed, I'm sorry, I just pinned together 2 back legs because I want to show you how they hang differently. And I think you can see the grain line. I drew it in red. I probably should have drawn it in black. Okay, but you can see, I think you can see, this leg is hanging really nicely, right? This leg is not really hanging as nice over here. And the difference between the left and right side is, notice where my grain line is on this right side. It comes into this dart over here, and the grain line on this side is up here, right at the stitching line of my center back seam. So what I want to show you here is, the more angled your center back seam is, the more room it's going to put inside your pants. Hey Diane, welcome. So you can see that this side over here has less room inside, and I think you can see it if I turn it sideways like this. Okay, I think you can see that, I mean, there's room there, but there's not a ton of room, right? This side has a much more angled center back seam, and you can see it's got a lot more room for a prominent behind to fill in. Okay, and because there is no prominent behind, look at the difference between how that leg is hanging. There's going to be some weirdness through the center back seam because I sewed I pinned the 2 of them together, but I think you can see here all of the fullness on this leg. There is not that kind of fullness on this leg. Okay, and these pattern pieces were the exact same, except for the fact that I angled this one. I'm going to show you the pattern pieces now. Okay, Lorna is saying, good morning, Jennifer. Lorna in the 5th island, New Zealand here. Because we had Good Friday holiday yesterday, I woke up thinking it was Saturday and went looking for today's live video. Oh, well, I'm so happy you're here live with us today on Friday. Happy Good Friday to you. All right, I'm gonna go back to my table here and show you. Here are my 2 back legs, and I'm gonna lay them right on top of each other so you can see. Okay, so if I lay these right on top of each other, you can see if I mean the crotches. Okay, so here's the thing. On paper, these crotches are not going to match up exactly because the one that's more angled is a little bit longer. You can see it's about a ½ inch longer. I did make them match. I pinned them together on the dress form. But, oh, and also, okay, so when I adjusted, oh, I should have checked this too, but when I adjusted it, I did make the angled leg a little bit longer. I thought I just moved everything over, but I guess I did make it a little bit wider. But my point is, having the more angled center back seam, and if I put them like this, you can see the difference here, right? So see how much more angled this one is? That's the one that's on the right, and this is the one that's on the left. All right, Mary says, when the center back seam is slashed straight across and then spread or overlapped, we set the same angle change on the center back. No? All right, so wait a minute. Mary says when the center back seam is slashed straight across and then spread or overlap, we see the same angle change on the center back. Okay, that's a good question. So when you, let me get back this example. Let me just show you this. So it may be that your pattern was fine out of the envelope, but a lot of times what happens is when you make changes to it is when you create the issues. Let's say I wanted to lengthen my center back edge. Okay, if I do this, I think this is what Mary's asking me here. So if I draw myself a slash line here, what happens is if I slash through my center back seam and make a pivot at my side seam and I spread it, that would actually bring the top of the center grain line closer to my center back. So if you're spreading, you're going to get the effect that I did on the computer to create a more angled center back seam. And then what happens is, let me just put some paper here for a second. Okay, so if you spread it like this, and then you want to reestablish your grain line, the way you do that is you do it from the bottom. So let's say we spread it like this much, and then I redraw my grain line. I'll redraw this one in a different color so you can see. Now my grain line is closer to center back. So you can see it kind of hits that dart leg right there. So it comes to here versus being over here. But if I overlap, let's say the rise was too long, if I do it in reverse, it's actually going to make my grain line farther away. It would put it over here. Does that make sense? So that's how you can spread or overlap to make longer or shorter your center back seam. You reestablish the grain line from below the adjustment. Lengthening the center back seam will bring the top of the grain line closer because you're tipping the pattern this way. Shortening it, you're tipping the pattern that way, so it'll be farther away. So I hope that helps you, Mary. PR Bassett says, when I make pants or even buy them, the center front seam twists off towards the inseam from the knee down, and it twists about an inch. Okay, so if your center front seam twists off to the inseam, so all your pants have a, you mean the center front grain line twists off to the inseam? PR Bassett, do you mean the center of your front leg twists? Center front seam twists off towards the inseam from the knee down. I need you to expand on that for me. I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. So just give me some more details on how your pants twist. Or if you want to send me pictures, you can send me pictures to jsterndesigns37@gmail, and I can look at them and see what's happening. Oh, you mean the, okay, so she's saying, yes, the center of her leg. So what she's saying is from the knee down, it's twisting like this. So that would also mean that your inseam, is your inseam twisting to the back? Does your inseam twist towards the back? Because if your inseam and everything is shifting this way, one of the easy things that it could be is that your side seam is too long, and if you were to shorten the side seam, so if I do this in reverse and shorten my side seam, then it could straighten it out. So if I shorten my side seam like this by overlapping, so let's say I come here and I just shorten it a little bit. and then put it back like that. Shortening it here is going to pick up this way, and it could make that straighten back out. That's one of the reasons why things shift in. If it's pushing in towards the side inseam here, it could be that this is too long and it's letting it drop that way. That's one of the reasons that happens. Marie says, how do you determine how to create the center back grain line angled? Okay, so Marie is asking, how do you determine how to create the center back grain line? Are you trying to ask me if you want to determine whether or not it's angled? Or how much it's angled? So, I don't understand Marie's question either. It must be that I have a head cold. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So at the beginning of this video, if you weren't here at the beginning, Marie, I showed how to establish the center balance or grain line by finding the center of the hem, the center of the knee, and then drawing your grain line straight up to the top waistline. That's how you create a center back grain line. And that's how you'll see if it's angled. So if, let's say, you know, this was a more angled center back seam. So let me just tape this back together here for a second. All right, I'm going to turn it over and we're going to use the opposite side. Okay, because it's getting messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redraw. So this is the back leg, but now I'm going to draw it like this at more of an angle. So we'll have it go like that. All right, and then it comes down, let's say. So in a more angled center back pattern like this, let's say, again, I'm going to find the center down here. And let's say it's like right here. Then at the knee, I'll find the center. Okay, that's 3.5. So that's 1 3/4. And notice when I draw this one straight up, look at how much closer it is to the center back edge. Okay, so finding the center of the leg from hem to knee and then continuing it straight up will tell you if it's angled or if it's straighter. I hope that answers your question. Oh, good. Pierre Bassett's going to try that and see if that helps her. That's good. Hey, Judy. Welcome. I'm sorry you're late. I'm doing a demo just to show how close the center grain line on your pattern is to the center back and how it affects the fit of your pattern. Now, let's get back over here to this for a second. I'm going to pull this closer here so you can see it a little better. Okay. So when I compared the two pattern pieces, I did make this one a little bit wider. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to pull it out of the side seam. I'm going to pin it past the actual side seam. And what you can see is if I pull out the extra there's still extra fabric in the behind area. See all this? All this extra. And the grain line, you can just see it doesn't hang as nice. So see how you've still got rumple here where this side hangs a little bit nicer. Okay. I pinned it together at the crotch. I forced this one to fit that one. So it is a little bit joggy. But what I'm going to do for Fit Tip Tuesday this week is I'm going to sew up 2 complete legs, so you'll be able to see how a more angled center back seam fits with the front also attached to it. So I'll make one side front and back with a straighter center grain line, and I'll make the second one with a more angled. And I think that will help you understand what I talked about during Fit Tip Tuesday. If you missed Fit Tip Tuesday, check the description below. I put a link to the video so you can watch that, so you can understand why I'm showing it to you on fabric now. Oh, Mary says it's really helpful to see these are the, oh yeah, on the dress form. Yep, I figured it would be easier to tell. And if I had my full steam and gusto, I would have tried to sew together these pants front to back, but I ran out of time. So I will have this all prepped and ready to go for Fit Tip Tuesday this week. So you'll be able to see how the leg hangs when it's sewn together completely with the front leg. Oh, Judy says, you'll be happy to know I'm sewing up my muslin for Sorsha pants. The fit is amazing. I have a flat caboose. Can I make the dart smaller? That is an excellent question, Judy. Yes. As a matter of fact, I would only use one dart, and I would use the dart closest to center back if you have a flat caboose. And the other thing is, printed on the pattern, you've got the straighter red dashed line at this for center back. Use that line versus the more angled one. And then just do one dart and just baste it in and see how that looks. Oh, Tana says seeing it 3D really helps to visualize. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that makes it easier. I was trying to show on the flat that the angle would create more room inside to, it makes a more negative room inside. And it also affects how the pants hang. So you can see there is some funny business going on this leg that is not on this leg. But again, oh, and here's the other thing. Notice the hems. I think if I push that back, you can see I had to pin this all the way down to get this to stay at the center of the back leg, whereas this leg hangs with the grain line lining up with the center of the leg on this side, and I did not have to pin it. It just hangs freely straight down, where I had to force this one to hang down at the center of the back of the leg near the ankle. So that's another thing about the grain lines. And you can see, if I drag it closer again, the other thing you can see is, so here's the grain line right here. And it shows you that this pattern, this muslin on the top half is just more balanced in terms of how much fabric it has on the right and left side of the grain line. You can see it's more centered, whereas on this one there's no fabric. There's almost no fabric on the inside edge of the grain line here. So the entire width of the pattern from at the waist is on the outside of the grain line going towards the side seam. So I really feel like this is important for you guys to know, because it's going to help you fit your pants better. Because if you've tried everything and nothing is working, checking this can help you. Plus, knowing this can help you not make a boo-boo when you're trying to make adjustments and then create more issues when you've made adjustments. All right, so Mary says adding and removing a little padding on the more angled one will help visualize how it accommodates a different bottom size. I'm going to have that good to go for next week. For Fit Tip Tuesday, Mary. So everyone check out Fit Tip Tuesday next week. I'm going to pad this side of the butt a little bit fluffier. I'm going to put some padding to make this a more prominent behind. And then I'm going to sew the front and back together so you can really see it. Oh, Andrea's saying it would help to make plaid pants also. That is true. Maybe I can find myself some plaid or some check just so you guys can see it better that way. So that's a good tip. And then, oh, Cindy says, I'm definitely going to rewatch the video. You always have such great tips. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate that. Yep, I am really excited about all of these things, and I'm so happy to have a full-length dress form to work with now, because now I can really demo things in fabric on that dress form, even though it's a size 6. It's also a good companion for my French European dress form that's hanging out in the back there, because that's a size 18 plus. So now when I'm working on tops, I can't use the French European for pants because it doesn't have legs, but it does have the standard size 18 measurement, so I'll be able to use that for my larger size tops that I'm working on, and then have this for my smaller sizes. So when I'm working on new patterns, I'll be able to test and look at how they fit on a standard size. So I'm kind of excited about that as well. So she's a cool addition to my room. But again, I had given away 2 of my dress forms to people who needed them, hoping to minimize the amount of dress forms I have in this room. And if you count my antique woof dress form that's in my background over there, right there, you can see the dark, you can see the dark blue brown one. That's my antique woof dress form. That light one is my first dress form I ever acquired from my friend Eric. And then I have my 2 dress forms, my ditto form that I love, that's me, and I have my French European. Now I have this, and I also have my mini one. I'm back up to 5.5 dress forms again. So, I mean, I'm really trying to keep my equipment, sort of make it small, but having a full-size dress form is huge for me, because again, I can demo things for you guys. So I am going to finish my room eventually. But I will tell you, the next 4 weeks are going to be tough, because I'm going to have to be driving my daughter to physical therapy, which means I have to go pick her up where she lives and drive her the opposite direction to her appointment 3 times a week. I also visit my parents twice a week. So every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is PT bus, and Tuesday, Thursday are parent visiting days. And I have my granddaughter on Wednesday afternoon too. So I'll fit everything in. It's just going to take longer. So just be patient with me. I will get everything finished, and I will get this room finished. I promise. Oh, Cindy says they are important tools. They really are. You know, I feel very blessed to have so many things to work with now. So I'm very excited. So just to recap, Tuesday is going to be Fit Tip Tuesday. I'm going to show the completed front and back legs with the same front pattern piece. So the pattern piece in the front is going to be the same left to right. And then I'll have the angled crotch and I'll have the straight crotch. So that's all happening for Fit Tip Tuesday. And I prepped it ahead of time, so I can definitely get it done for Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. And then I think I will have a cool tool for Monday too as well. So I'm really enjoying doing my little cool tool videos. Oh, Amy says, I'm happy to have caught you live. Thank you for coming. And Cindy says, you totally understand. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's always something, right? I mean, I know I'm not the only one. I know people have things that happen in their lives, and then they need to spend time working with those things or helping people or other things. So I think, you know, we all have things we have to do. I will tell you, my newsletter is coming out, and in the newsletter, I'm going to be announcing 2 Zoom classes for April, and I am doing a second pants fitting in-person workshop. I'm going to repeat the exact same workshop I did in March. I got a lot of requests from people to do it again because they couldn't come in March. So you guys can be the first to hear about this. I mean, it's on my website, so if you want to register, I didn't put a link for it yet. It will be in the newsletter. It's going to be the first weekend in August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Same format, 3 days at the Hampton Inn in Manchester, Connecticut with me. So if anyone would like to join me, I'm keeping the registration to 10 people. And if you'd like to join me, you can head over to J Stern Designs and just look in my upcoming workshops. That's the only thing I have listed right now. I'm going to fill that up with everything else I'm teaching as well. And I will be launching my newsletter either later today or tomorrow that will have more information about the pants fitting workshop and 2 new classes for April that'll be on Zoom. So there'll be something for everyone. So I hope you want to join me for a class. That will be fun. Oh, Diane is saying, sorry about your head cold. Feel better soon. Thank you. And, honestly, I felt better before I came on because I wasn't talking. Trying to talk, I think, I'm realizing now maybe I need to give it a little bit of a rest. So I'm going to head off in a second, but I really wanted to get on with you guys because this is my highlight of my week to do FabFit Friday and just hang out with you guys for a little bit. Oh, Cindy's asking, will you be teaching at the Houston Quilt Fest this year? I will be teaching at the Houston Quilt Festival this year. I'm very, very excited about that. So I'm not going to say the classes I'm teaching because I don't think they've released them yet, but I am teaching the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. Those are the days that I'll be teaching. So I'm excited about that. Oh, Mary wants to know how close the hotel is to the airport. It's a 25-minute ride. I did pick people up and drop them back off. So if you decide you want to join me, Mary, I can pick you up and bring you home, bring you back to the airport. A couple of the ladies, 2 of the ladies, three people flew in March, 2 from the West Coast and 1 from Texas. So I did pick up people, and I also brought the 2 from California. I brought back, well, no, 1 was from Texas and 1 was California. I brought them back after the workshop on Sunday because they had a really early flight Monday morning. So I drove them back and forth. So, all right. So that's about the airport and the pants class. Judy says, where can I find out more information about the expo? So the Houston Quilt Festival is happening the very last weekend in October and the first few days of November. That information is not out yet. So maybe, I don't even know if I should have told you I'm going to be teaching there yet, because literally I just sent back my contract. So you'll be finding out information about that as soon as they publish it. So I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to get in trouble. So that's the Houston Quilt Festival. I'm also going to be in San Francisco the weekend right near 4th of July for the National ASG Conference. That's going to be in San Francisco. I will be teaching there as well. So those are the things. So, and I'm going to put, as soon as I can, like as soon as they publish the class list, I will put all of those workshops I'm teaching at Houston and at the National ASG Conference on my workshop page, as well as the 2 new classes I'm teaching in April on Zoom. So all of that will be coming in my newsletter either later today or tomorrow. So that's my report on that. Oh, so Cindy's excited. She says, I'm hoping to get to go this year. Well, I hope you get to go too, and then you can hang out with me. We can meet up. That'll be fun. Oh, Andrea says, yay for the ASG conference in San Francisco. I know. It's really close for you guys. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So, that's going to be really fun. Yep. So I think that's my full report. The other thing I will say is I was really happy when I looked at my size chart and I measured the size 6 standard dress form that the actual size 6 pattern for my Sorcia Classic Slim trousers fit my size 6 dress form. That made me very happy. So that was another happy moment for me. So I know my sizing is not off the scale, I guess. I mean, I knew it was close, but it was happy to do that. So I was kind of excited about that. All right. I think I'm going to go now because my voice is getting kind of crabby and I don't want to torture you anymore with my head coldness. So I hope everybody who celebrates Easter has a happy, happy Easter. And I want to thank everybody for watching and hanging out with me because, oh no, PRDSJ family says it's 4:47 a.m. Woo, that's early. I did have to get up at 4:45 on Tuesday to bring my daughter to her ACL surgery because she was the first on the list, and we had to be there like by 6 a.m. So I had to get ready, go pick her up, bring her over to the Glastonbury Surgery Center. So I was up when you were up one time this week. Oh, Judy says, I hope you feel better. Thank you so much. I feel tough. Like, I feel like I'm fine. Like, I operate my life like I'm really not sick, but I feel like I thought I was fine until I started talking. I'll be completely honest with you. So I'm going to make it. I'm going to be fine. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday weekend, and I will see you next week. If you missed Fit Tip Tuesday last week, watch it. So this week's Fit Tip Tuesday will make more sense to you. And also everything I shared today will make more sense with you if you go back to watch that. So anyway, that's my report. Oh, Tiana's, Joy says, thanks, Jen. Happy Easter. Take care of the cold. I will. Cindy says, get well. Thank you. Judy says, hope you feel better. Tiana says, you've been pushing yourself, Jen, and we all feel your pain. Stay well. Oh, well, I just do me. Like, I try not to push myself, but I'm high energy even when I don't feel good. So it'll be okay. I'll be okay. PRDSJ family says happy Easter and hope you feel better. Connie says feel better soon. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I'm going to sign off now, and I will see you all next week for another exciting FabFit Friday. Maybe I'll actually get my room cleaned. We'll see. All right. So thank you. Happy Easter, everybody. Bye.